Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are doing the discussion for Darwin's Journey, which was a highly anticipated game for this year, getting rave reviews. This is done by Thundergriff Games, which the only game I know that they've done is Tang Garden. And Tang Garden was like a tile placement, like...
It wasn't bad.
Different.
Well, yeah, it wasn't bad. Beautiful, beautiful artwork, yep. So... whenever I had backed this, I expected amazing production quality and amazing art. So, and I think you definitely get that here. The production quality is really well done. The only, in terms of quality, that I don't really like is their insert. It doesn't seem to fit all the mini expansions. And if it does, they give no explanation of how things fit.
Right.
And it's funny because I saw someone post online. They were like, should we just give up on inserts? Because either they're not done correctly or they're not done at all. So I'm like, well, if they are amazing, then yes, I do want a good insert. But out of all the hype that this game is getting, do you guys think this game deserves it?
So I probably haven't been hearing all that much hype on it, but I do think...
I guess I should say everyone's wanting to buy it.
Right.
Like, I'm seeing everyone asking for this, and to me that equates to hype, because people want a copy.
It is a pretty decent Euro game.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying to decide if I can compare this
I need to not fuck with it, because it'll just be like audio.
Right. Like with Great Western Trails, because that's... And I think that's what I probably equate it to them close.
Great Western Trails. Great Western Trails, Maracaibo.
Yep.
And those are the main two. Those are the main two that just, for some reason, not that there's anything here that is like, oh, that's in that game, but for some reason those games are just, I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of see that in that game.
It might be kind of the weight level as well for a Euro game with it. Mm-hmm. It's a good game. Like, it's a solid game. It has a couple flaws, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But not overshadowing flaws that I think destroy the game.
Yeah. There's a few things in this that I'm like, I'm not really annoyed with, but they're more like, if you're not aware that it's in the game, it might be a bigger problem. Now, if you play it multiple times over and over, you're now aware. It's a learning curve kind of issue.
It's a learning curve. But that being said, the game is still pretty solid. Mm-hmm. Production value is great. It has enough different strategies that a strategy might not work every single time, but you have the options to try different things. Mm-hmm.
Which is what I look for in a Euro. I don't want the efficiency game where it's like, that's the meta. It's like, okay, well, they figured out the game. I don't want to play it anymore. This doesn't seem to have that.
No. It has, again, a lot of good and interesting choices that you're making throughout the game.
Yeah.
Each with different consequences, but still good and interesting choices.
Because we all did...
Pretty vastly different.
Yeah. Like, we all obviously touched on the same things you have to. There's no... I don't think there's a real Euro game where you can go down one complete path that one person goes down another different path and you never touch the same actions. That's impossible. But like what each of us focused on was different,
right?
With varying levels of results. Brett, what do you think?
Awful. No, it's...
I would laugh if you weren't joking. You're like, no, seriously, I had a horrible time this entire time. Oh.
No, it wasn't. So, again, me, my personality, my style. But it wasn't as awful as I went anticipating. Meaning that it's a good game.
Yeah.
It just has a lot of choices, a lot of options, a lot of strategies, and it's never clear what's a good one. But I will say that you're not locked in from your first couple of moves.
True.
You can shift at any moment and start some... like you said, you started out, I'm going to do this, exploring the islands. And since we jumped on it first, you went, okay, I'm going to do something else.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually,
and there's plenty of other ways to score points.
Yeah, or you can go in late and you're not penalized. There's a lot of games where it's like, oh, there are two in the lead. There's no point in me doing that. Mm-hmm. You were exploring first, and that's and it's something about you and I in these games where that was going to be the very first action I did, but I wanted to finish out her first, so I went for seals, and then you kept going. I'm like, you know what? I'm also gonna explore. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did the most.
Right.
And I like that. There's not a lot of Euro games that can kind of give you that freedom of diverging from a strategy because you're finding out it's not working.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, the game only lasts 5 rounds. There is still a time limit on that. You can't, shift gears 4 rounds in.
You can't drastically shift gears.
No.
But you can still, because I didn't do really any exploring. Like, my research track is actually from other actions just giving me cubes.
Right.
I didn't really go out and get any. I think I contributed one. I contributed 1 bird. I'm like, hey guys, out of all my colonizing, I found a bird. Now it's extinct now because I killed it, because that's just what I do.
Right.
But
That makes it more rare and valuable.
well, it's actually because I somehow found a way to generate money. So what I contributed was for the multiplier.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, I didn't research at all, I guess I get nothing. It's like, nope, you go in last, and you just took all the information that everyone else did, and now you get that big book.
Right.
But you ended up benefiting significantly from it.
Exactly. And it also helped that one of my special guys gave me 5 books.
Right.
There's a lot of little things that I think in this game just feel good. Like, I never feel like there's... Well, I guess I'm the best one to point it out. Like, there were multiple times where I felt like I was wasting a turn. But really, because at least going and getting first player gets you 2 coins, which in a 3-player game, you at least need that much to go where someone else is.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I like being first. Because then my masked, dexed out scholar guy who explores a shit ton, I'm guaranteed to get to go there first and maximize off that.
And that's what I'll say. So that's probably my biggest pet peeve at this point. I played this twice now. First player matters. And
100%.
First player matters on probably the most on turn 1.
100%.
And so, and the benefit for going last is pretty abysmal.
The benefit for going last really only seems to be in setup. Because you get to draft first.
But the draft, I mean, I'm
not saying that's good.
I don't know, but I'm saying these are so, I'll call it, broad already, that just because you get to pick the first of your choices doesn't guarantee that you're going to get those.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first one. This is the one I drafted. I couldn't ever complete it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so it is a weird kind of turn order system. Now, to be fair, that's one of the learning curve things.
Right.
Is like, someone has to burn a turn to stay, or they hope no one goes there, and then turn order stays the same. There is a tweak to that. Either if no one goes there, then it rotates,
right.
Like some games do, or if someone does go there, then they're guaranteed to lock in a spot.
Right.
Because it's like, if the person who goes there first, I highly doubt they're going to go there on their first action the next round. That'd be kind of dumb. So then, like in this case, it's me, you, then Brett. Like, I'm obviously going to go there, so then your first turn would be the kind to go there and then take it for the next... But it's always for the next round.
But the problem is, because it's for the next round, but that also means that there are more spaces that now are going to be more and more expensive every single time. So again, it's a punishing system for that. And I don't have a problem with that if, for instance, I got more money for being last on turn 1. Because I'm already going to suffer for the very fact, like, if I have 4 coins, and you guys take 1 spot on each side of the books... I'm guaranteed if I want any other spot now, I have to pay 2 coins every time. Yeah,
that is actually one of my biggest negatives, is in a 3-player game specifically, the book sections are... Like in a 4-player game, you have the... I don't want to pull it out. You have the bookmarks, so you only have to pay on one half of the page.
Right.
In a 3-player game, it's the whole book, and I find that completely weird. Because it's like, I'm doing this completely separate, different action, but for some reason I'm penalized because you went and got seals, so now I have to pay to go to the envelopes.
That's a mitigation for having too many spots for a word replacement.
I think so.
Right.
Which makes sense mechanically.
Yeah.
Thematically,
again,
it's weird.
I feel like those issues... the first player definitely becomes... I think it's not that big of a deal in the beginning of the game, but it's a lot more painful at the end.
Right.
And then the complaint of having the penalized, pay... is a bigger issue at the beginning of the game, not as much at the end.
Right.
Because I was the one this entire game struggling with money. Like, I spent it all to get one thing out, and then I was like,
Actually,
guess
I was
I'll go-
running out constantly too.
"Were you? Oh, okay."
One time I got up to like 8 or 9.
Yeah. So I
But-
pretty
but-
much spent mine, but I had ideas and plans for how to go and get more
Gotcha.
every time.
Yeah, there must have been some. I don't even remember. There was whenever my Explorer, because I got to pick stuff along the way, that got me more and more money.
Right.
And then doing the action that let me use all my tents again was really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of what I call cool actions in this game. Like the power bonuses that you can get, super cool, super awesome.
And the choices that you have
Right.
of what to get.
Yes, the permanent powers are
right.
really neat. My favorite system in this entire game is the way your workers level up.
Yes.
That seal system is so cool.
I agree.
Because there's not a lot of games that do that. I can't think of really any that make.
It's usually you just get more and more workers.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is each worker can do different things.
Yeah. Or there are
A lot more
those with like
versatile.
different colored meeples. Or in some games, the worker placement spots themselves become more powerful. But in
Right.
this game, depending on your seals, you can mix and match. Not even try and follow your card. Just be like,
Right.
you know what? I want this worker to be the most versatile worker I have, so
Right.
he can go anywhere.
Right.
You're most likely going to want to go for these because these are really, really powerful.
Which is why you can only do it once.
Exactly.
Which is really
Right.
nice. But
And only one worker can contribute to it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like, she was the one I went for first, and I was like, really? Only 2 movements? But then that's separate moves. So it's like, oh, I can get 2 things.
Or move 2 different workers.
Or move 2 different workers. This one was 5 books.
Right.
And then my last one, which I thought I was going to definitely go for because I was running out of money, was 8 money. But I didn't even upgrade that worker at all.
Right.
All to then be rewarded again with endgame victory points.
Right.
Yeah, that's because that seal system is just so unique.
Yeah, I like it better than like a lot of worker placement games where you buy more workers, or you buy more powerful workers.
Yeah.
To me, this is better because I have all my actions. Like I know I have an action economy of 4 actions per turn. Theoretically, a 5th one, it's a fairly weak 5th one, but realistically, you're always doing 4.
Yeah.
And they can become as versatile and as powerful as you want.
Because I cannot think of a single game that does that.
Right.
I mean, it feels like, I don't know if I want to say thematic. You could tie in some theme to it as that particular worker is getting more knowledge and more experience as
right,
they're going
in
out.
different areas.
But I'm not really-
Thematically, there are different areas.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings where you were talking about the split. That's if you use the fully leveled up one on the envelopes, allow you to split it.
Okay.
That's its cool power.
That's it. Okay.
Because we were trying to figure out where the card was, but it's not a card. It's if you have a maxed out one.
Yeah,
They
for
can
the
split
stamps.
it.
That allows you to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about this game that I enjoy is the sheer amount of variety. Now, what you're going to explore is going to be the same.
Right.
Yeah.
But the envelopes are going to be different. These, which we didn't even unlock, we kept
Right.
these two.
And barely even used them. Like you and I used that one spot once each.
Yeah. This one I almost considered doing because it just lets you take one of your glasses and put
Right.
it somewhere for free. And it's like, oh, but when you place that, you get to do that action.
Right.
But then this final one, and then also the Beagle scoring things, there's a bunch of these as well.
Right.
I thought about trying to go for that to minimize or to maximize points for this, but I was like, when Brett's like, you're at -9, I'm like, never mind.
Right.
Now, theoretically, I could have still done that, got more of these out, and taken the one that's only max -2.
Right.
But, and that's what we're talking about, of just
You just have options.
different
and-
ways to deal with different problems.
Exactly.
Yep.
Where these are different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's instead of what you're achieving, it's where you get them is all random.
Yeah. And to be fair, this is also, we're only reviewing the core game.
Right.
Like, there's a ton of mini expansions, as well as a bigger expansion. What are the mini expansions? So they have...
Darwin's pyramids.
Well, they have different setups. The Fireland expansion. The exploration of the Tierra del Fuego. I think this utilizes time. But yeah, these are kind of scenario based. And then the mini expansions, because they have time wax seals. Again, no idea what these are about.
Right.
But then they have an animal companion, which I almost threw in here because I'm like, oh, that sounds adorable. That's a mini expansion. The Great Ship is a mini expansion. Pirates as a mini expansion, which gives you treasure, and then scenarios as a mini expansion. So, and then there's adventures.
And so there's a lot.
There is a lot.
This game's a lot. And again, I'll call it, for a Euro game, it probably feels the most free for a Euro game that I've played in a long time. Where there's just so many options that you can do. That can be good. That can be bad.
Yeah,
that's up to.
It depends on what
players.
Euro games you like. Do you like super tight, efficient Euro games, or do you like? Because I think that's more your speed. You like more the tighter, the Kanban kind of. Like, here's the efficiency.
Yeah.
With very little diversion, I think. Like if you mess up, like Kanban is like, one mistake. Well, game's over. No way I can win. Here, you're like, I made 17 mistakes. That's all right.
So I don't actually mind the 17 mistake type Euro game. I actually like this type of Euro game.
Okay.
Because I look at Great Western Trail and it's kind of the same way as this. And that's probably my top. I mean, that is my top Euro game. Is Great Western Trails.
Argentina specifically.
Yeah, Argentina specifically. Until the new one shows up, and then
New Zealand, about sheep. Yeah. Like, cows suck. Yep. let's play with sheep.
But most people I play Euro games do want a little tighter. They either complain you either have too much of a point salad or there's too much chaos. So I don't like chaos in a game, and I don't feel like this game is chaotic.
Right.
Like we played Distilled. That felt too chaotic. The cards were just too random.
Yeah.
The chance of what you were looking for that was going to be out in the market at any one time.
Which still blew my mind. I'm actively trying to make rum. Oh, guess I didn't.
Right.
Guess I made whiskey. What?
Right. So for me, it was that was too random. This isn't random. Like, you can just make choices. You're going to be influenced and affected by other players. But to me, that's a good Euro game, is where I'm being affected by other players, but my choices are all open.
And it doesn't feel like people are being assholes whenever whenever you obviously went and explored the flower first.
Right.
And I think I had a tile that required me to get a flower, and I'm like, okay. Guess I'll hold that off and try and get I mean, you have so many other ways I can go.
Right.
I could go here and get that, or I don't even have to be the one to contribute it. I just have to be the one. I can just need to have it on here.
Exactly.
You took one tile here, and at that point I was like, like, did he just look at my board and know that I could autocomplete that? And you're like, oh, I'm taking this because I can finish it. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. And even if you did take it because you were like, oh, well, he's probably in the lead, I should probably not let him autocomplete something. Because I was going to try, the only other step was do that, so I can get...
I didn't even look at your board, didn't even have a clue that you could auto-complete it.
Right.
It was going to fulfill a need that I needed immediately.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is about the freedom of this game, is if someone does something that you're eyeing, you just course correct and go somewhere else. Right. You never really have a dead turn.
Right. I never felt like I had a dead turn.
I did at the very beginning, whenever... Because of the no bookmark thing, I was like, okay, I'll do envelopes. Oh, you need 2 money. I'm like, I just spent all my money.
Right.
And why do I have to pay for the other book? For the other stupid side of the book?
Yeah. There are only 2 random things after setup. And one of them is almost inconsequential, just the layout of those seals. And those, which are very powerful.
Yeah.
But that also gives you a sense of urgency, is, I think I can do that. I better grab it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and even when the seals come out, it's like I was never really upset with their structure, because most of the time either someone's going to unlock it, which makes it open for anyone to go, and the person who put it there just gets a coin, so you're not really like,
it's not even your coin. Huh? It's not even your coin. It's from the bank.
Thank God. I'm so happy it wasn't like a pay the player kind of thing.
Yeah. But it also encourages you to go get them out as early as possible. You're making it easier for other people to do more powerful actions.
Yeah.
But you're hopefully going to bank enough money from it that's fine.
It had a little bit of like the perseverance whenever you're changing up the dice. And it's like, oh, haha, you have to use mine. That causes you to lose fame or whatever it was called. Right. But every time I went, I was like, oh, thank God. Thanks, Zach, for opening that spot for me. Yeah, get a coin. I don't really care. Now I'm going to get my 4 movement.
Right.
This game is just... It's everything that I want out of a Euro game.
Yeah.
I think the theme is super cool. Yeah. I mean, it clearly is involved in the game, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a thematic game.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing, you can put theme into it. Like, you can... like the most I feel is with the seals, kind
Right.
of being like, here's my exploration, dude, my dude who's really good at that.
Right.
But yeah, placing tents out, you said it was colonizing, and I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess
I don't think it's supposed to be.
it's
but
not.
But at the same time, like, because you're like talking, it's like it's a Euro game. I could slap in 5 different themes on this game,
Right.
and it would all work perfectly fine.
This would
Yeah.
work on Mars the same way.
Yes, or space travel.
That's true.
Or time travel, or pretty much anything. Like again, past, present, future, and just instantly do a
That's
different
true.
game.
That's true.
Where you're seeking out different relics.
Yeah, yep, that's true. Artifacts that you're contributing
Right.
to the organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
to
again-
the government, the space government.
So again, there's nothing that like the theme is good, but it's not a critical theme. Like you're not. It's like, oh my gosh.
I feel like I'm really with Charles Darwin.
I
doing
feel
this.
seasick.
Now, I'm questioning, how do you personally feel about the theme?
I'm fine with it.
You sinner. You're not a true Christian.
I mean, my answer, he was a man who went on a journey.
Like Jesus.
I mean,
They're both one and the same.
Different journeys.
just because there's going to be people who are going to disagree with his theories doesn't mean you can't have a game based on it.
I know.
I'm trying to think. I mean,
It's certainly not pushing science down if you're religious at all.
No, it's
Right.
not at all. But there are those people who would be like, evolution, this game's...
They're not going to buy it
But
just
there's
based on the name.
But yeah, so my thing is, but there's nothing
Yeah.
in there that even discusses evolution on to begin with.
Yeah.
You're right,
it's
it really
just
doesn't.
collecting. It's just
It's collecting animals.
samples.
Really, all you're doing is you're actually just looking at birds and plants
Right.
and animals, and you're like,
Right.
oh, how nice.
I mean, I'll put
There's one scoring track called
Crusader.
Evolution, and it doesn't matter.
Crusader that will be done has more of a more dividing theme
Yeah.
of going and conquering the Saracens
That's true. That's true.
as crusading knights.
That's true.
Yeah,
Let's
except
not even bring up viticulture.
Exactly.
viticulture world specifically.
Worlds.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you're right. The difference between this and Crusaders is this is actually good.
Right.
I was going to bring something else up about not necessarily the theme. The fact that whenever you're first, a couple days ago, Brett and I were just going to play this.
Yeah.
And I broke it out, and I was like, "Oh, never mind." And I put it off. I'm like,
Started
we'll just
punching out all the
play it a
pieces.
different day because this looks like it's going to be weirdly complex. It's not.
It's not.
Like that's something
For a
that,
Euro.
For a Euro, well, even for how
It's not something
how
you're just gonna break out and learn real quick.
I mean-
with people.
true.
To Brett's point, though, there is an entire sheet of micro-printed iconography.
Yeah.
Now, there's all the iconography you'll need. Once you learn it, you got the game.
Right, yeah. I do think they're quite obvious
Yeah.
and they're repetitive. This isn't like a Shem Phillips game where it's like,
Right.
dude, come on.
Right.
Like, why do you have to have a separate icon for every little thing?
And that's probably why I compare it to like Great Western Trails. There's
Yeah.
an icon for everything, but once you learn that iconography, you understand the game. Like every
Yeah.
card and every spot tells you, like, okay, this is what you're doing based on that iconography.
Yeah. Yeah, and the very few that we saw that were like, oh, we haven't, like, on one of your cards, we're like, oh, we don't know what that is. Oh, we'll just look it up in the player.
the
It's
number.
what's the number 7? Oh, here
there
it
it
is.
is.
I do find it annoying that there's only one of those.
Yep.
So many games do that, and it's so fucking annoying. And you can print it off of their website. I paid you $150 to give me a complete game.
Right.
Am I playing the solo? No.
You can.
You can. So for solo players, then they're like, I got everything I need.
Right.
You want to play with me? No, you can't. I only have one player aid.
Right.
And also, it's not long.
No.
Like, it took us
I was-
an hour and a half.
Or less.
No, it wasn't even an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
It was
I mean-
probably an hour once we
Wow.
actually sat down and started playing.
Wow.
So I mean, props for what they
I don't
said.
know why I'm looking at this. It's,
What did they say?
it's on-
30.
I think it was 30 minutes per player.
30 minutes per
30
player.
minutes per player.
So
even less than,
Yep.
which is astounding to me.
Yeah.
Because most of these games will take longer.
But again, it's 5 rounds with a set number of actions. When you do action, it's not like there's a lot of thought process into what you're doing. You're moving 2 spaces.
2 or 3 times you might have a cascade where you do this
Yeah.
and then this and then that. That lets me do this.
Yeah, I think Zach and I had one each.
Yep.
Something like that. Brett didn't.
But even that cascade wasn't like a crazy detrimental cascade.
No,
Yeah.
It didn't take a ton of time.
You just do it step by step, and it's all
Right.
done.
My biggest one was I'm going to go here, grab that objective, complete it, and then we just walk through my
tents.
my tents.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
Right. And mine was basically, I got a ton of seals. I got 6 seals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your 6 seals took longer than my 5 tents.
Right.
But obviously that has more thought of where you want to put them.
Right.
Especially because you're getting like extras and then they're discounted, so it's like, oh, where do I want to use the money? Yeah, I'm honestly kind of shocked because I expected this to be yet another Euro game that people were overblowing by just because some reviewer was saying it was the greatest game of the year, and they're like, oh, I gotta have it. Now, to be fair, I've been going purely off of what online people are demanding it for, and I mean, I think it's great.
Yep.
Again, can't speak to the expansions, but yet, if anything, I might do a review over the Fireside expansion, but I don't plan on doing a review over the mini expansions, like I did for Endless Winter. Endless Winter, I had a little review for every expansion they had. So, did you guys have anything else? Brett, did you have any negatives on the game?
Nothing other than just my personal.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, it's just a lot to think about and a lot of options to consider, and so a lot of times I just went, I think this is probably a good thing, and turned out most of the time I was right.
Right.
No, I can't think of anything negative other than the one player aid.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys give Darwin's Journey? Start with you, Brett.
Again, I gotta give extra props for the production.
Yeah.
So I would say for gameplay, probably 8, and the production will raise it to a 9.
9.
For me, it's a solid 8.
8. Yeah. I agree with Brett. I'm also giving this a 9. Yeah, I mean, mainly, like, production is really good, but not everyone's going to have that. So, but the production doesn't change gameplay. It is just nice, like the rubber wax seals. I mean, whatever these are. They're magnifying glasses, but they don't. They're like lenses.
Right.
Thematic.
And then I guess the player mats are nice. They're stitched. I hate when I get player mats and they're just not stitched.
Right.
It's like, oh god, like you just handed me a mouse pad. But where it gets the extra point, because I would probably say gameplay-wise is an 8.
Yeah.
But it gets the extra point from the sheer variety that I look for. Like, this is not another Euro game where it's like, all right, like Brass or Concordia, where I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm playing the same game yet again. This one's like, ooh, different scoring objectives, different tiles that, might as well keep these because we didn't even touch 4 of them. 5 of them. We didn't even touch 5 of them. Yeah. So, 9 out of 10 for me. So, you guys got anything else? Cool. Well, that's our thoughts on Darwin's Journey. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.